If you're always struggling to hire good people, it's because hiring is a skill and one that you need to develop. So if you've never received training on how to do it well, you're going to struggle. Here are 5 reasons why hiring isn't working for you. You're hiring for the wrong thing. You're thinking that you need to hire for this particular role, but maybe in reality, you need to hire for a different one. Maybe you're not developing the role in the right way. If you don't know how to evaluate gaps in your business and things you're struggling with and things that are holding your business back, you're going to end up hiring just based off of someone else's suggestion. Oh, maybe you should hire this role, but maybe you actually really need help elsewhere. You're not developing criteria either. If you don't take the time to develop criteria, it's also going to lead you down the wrong path with the wrong role. Next, you're not attracting the right people. You might be using the wrong language. And I don't just mean it listing out the responsibilities and experience that you need. I'm also talking about the way in which you communicate. There are certain types of people in certain roles where you need to speak their language. If you need a certain role, but you have no idea how to speak that language, how on earth are you going to be able to attract the right kind of people? You might also be posting in the wrong places. If you post in certain places like Indeed or LinkedIn or ZipRecruiter, those might not actually be the places where the right hires are. If you're not getting in front of them, you're only going to get applications from people who are not the right fit for your role. Next, you're making it harder on yourself. If you don't have structure and systems in place for how you go about hiring, you're going to make this process significantly harder for yourself. You need to collect information in a consistent manner. You need to have a job application. You need to have a process for how you evaluate all of the applications that come in. You need to have a process for scheduling interviews, for evaluating interviews, and also for preparing for interviews to make sure you ask the right kind of information. If you get into an interview with someone and you're not sure how to go about it and you're not leading the conversation, you're not going to get the right kind of information out of that interview. You need to set these structures in place so that you don't add to your workload. Hiring in and of itself takes time and effort. You don't want to add more to your already very full plate. Next, you're not focusing on the right information. When we hire for clients and for ourselves, we use a 3-part process. We have an application for all of our applicants to fill out. We spend time at focusing on developing the right questions to ask in that application to make sure that we cover our bases before we ever get into interviews with those applicants. After we filter through all those applications, we trim it down to a significantly smaller number for those first round interviews. We put the same amount of effort into our interview questions that we do into our application questions. They cover a different variety of questions to make sure we get a better picture of the people we're talking to. Then we move those people onto the second round interview. So at each of these stages, we're covering a different amount of information, a different type of information to get that holistic picture of who these people are and the kind of impact they could have in the business. If you're not spending the time to prepare for each of these stages, you're not going to get the right kind of information. You're going to miss out on really important pieces, and you're likely going to make the wrong call on the person you think you should hire. Another piece of this too is it's really, really common for you to hire based on who you like. If there's someone that you just feel like you vibe with, but they don't actually have the right experience, but you don't know that because you're not asking the right questions, you're going to end up making the hire based on who you like. Next, you don't have a strong onboarding process. Even if you hire a great person, if you don't have an onboarding process in place, when they come on, they're not going to be nearly as effective as they could be. If you're not sharing information, if you're not setting expectations for them, if you're not establishing communication cadences and norms for them when they join, they're going to be unsure of themselves. They're going to waste time looking for information or asking you a lot of questions. Now, at this point in the video, you might be wondering, okay, how do I do this well? How do I hire great candidates? That's why your next step should be to watch this video.